Let me know if you can hear me and we'll get started. Okay, so this is really mostly here for API. I like to try and catch Netflix if it's possible, but lately they've been releasing so close to 4 o'clock, it's been really hard to get into the trade. So I'm not going to be disappointed if I don't get into the trade. You can, if you don't have a chance, you don't have a chance. There's nothing you can do about it. You give it your best shot. That's all you can do. So that's my plan. I'll give it my best shot, and we'll see if we can get in. So welcome to the 10-Minute Trades Trading Room. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. All trades we discuss are for educational purposes, so please remember it's possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully. And I want to welcome our YouTube streaming members for the Netflix trade. And like I said, you never know if you can make the trade happen. I mean, that's just the way it is with earnings. Sometimes you catch them, sometimes you don't. I'm definitely not. I don't chase. I try not to do foolish things. I try hard. I don't always succeed. Let me explain a little bit of what you have to do, what I have to do if I'm gonna try and trade this way. I have a setup, and you have to make sure your instrument settings are set to 24/7 on the stock part of it. Where is it? Come on, you guys. Trading hours, 24/7. Trading hours. Otherwise, you won't see the price. Okay? You will not see the price after hours. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and trade the NQ as a proxy for Netflix. And if I get the trade off, I get the trade off. If I don't get the trade off, I'm not gonna cry like a baby. It's just, I mean, look at the NASDAQ. You're looking at like 400 points. Do you know that makes it very, very difficult to get this trade to happen? I mean, let's just be truthful. That's like ridiculous. What's going on with the NQ? I don't. I don't think I remember a day ever in my life where I've seen 400 points on the NQ. No joke. 400 points. It's absurd, right? Isn't it a little bit silly? It's a little bit silly. But what I do, just so you understand, is I use Thinkorswim, okay, double broker. I've got a little gadget, a chart gadget for Thinkorswim, so I can keep track of whether or not the Netflix earnings have come out, okay? And I just keep this chart alive on my other monitor, okay? And that way, because I don't trust the data feed that comes in, or I don't trust it as much as the one that I physically see from Thinkorswim, okay, that I do on the data feed from NinjaTrader, okay? So I trust, hello, I trust, hold on, I hate myself sometimes. I trust Come on, give me my charts, please. My NinjaTrader charts on the NQ is no problem, but I don't trust the data feed that's coming in from Thinkorswim. I don't trust it quite as much. Hold on, folks. I don't trust it quite as much as I trust looking at Thinkorswim. I just think it's safer to look at the Thinkorswim chart. Okay? That's my personal opinion. Now, the idea is we're using the NQ, right? We're using the NQ as a proxy for Netflix. And sometimes we'll catch a trade, sometimes we won't. And there's nothing you can do if you catch it. What you don't want to have happen is you don't want it to be on the wrong side of the market. Okay? I mean, that's the worst thing that can happen is you get it on the wrong side of the market. So unfortunately, I screwed up my chart, so I got to fix it. I don't want my watch list. All I want is my gadget. So one more time, you just expand on the gadget. So the issue that we're dealing with is for the last couple of quarters, Netflix has been releasing their earnings exactly at 4 o'clock, which means it's too early to get into the trade. Okay. If it's too early to get into the trade, there's nothing you can do. It's nobody's fault. Okay. It's not anybody's fault. It's not that you did something wrong. It's just that you've got to know that it's safe. And if it's not safe, there's not a thing you can do. So I'll leave that off to the side for now. So my setup is not that complicated, but just so you understand what I've done. So on the right-hand side here, I have a multi-broker account with NinjaTrader. Okay. I've got Netflix and TD Ameritrade on the right, and I've got the NQ and my AMP account on the left. And I have a simple setup that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a one-click range trade. And because of this insane volatility of the NASDAQ, and it is insane, I'm going to use 16 ticks above and below. And I fully expect not to have a trade today. That's being honest. I fully expect no trade. Okay. I'm going to use roughly 6 bars to look back. Okay. So my orders are going to show up somewhere around here, somewhere around here. And I'll show you what I mean. 16 ticks above and below, going 6 bars back. It's because of the volatility. You kind of have to be a little bit crazy to probably even try this trade today. But, you know, if you get a move in one direction, it could work. And I'll do a 9-tick target and a 40-tick target and a 25-tick stop. I'll risk $250 on the trade, roughly. The entry time doesn't matter because I'm going to use a one-click range trade. And let me show you what I mean about what I'm going to do. So when I put my trade on and I want to turn off my crosshair, so that's about where my orders are going to be, okay, when I get started. And then I'm going to move them closer and closer to the current price, okay? But given the possible volatility in this earnings trade, I think that using a 16 tick above and below the range, and I'm using like a 6-bar range, is a way that I can try to stay safe. Okay. If the market gets too volatile at 4 o'clock, I won't try to enter and we'll just smile and we'll move on to the next trade because we're here for 2 trades. Okay. And you know that I don't go crying in a corner. It's not the way I do things. If you do this long enough, if you get a trade, you're happy. If it works, if you don't get a trade, you just think about the next time. That's all. It's just not a big deal. Um, you just think about the next time. But I can check in Sim that my orders are at least showing up reasonably safe and see it's pretty close, right? So that 16 ticks is not that much. So what I'm going to do is try to manipulate my orders right before Netflix comes out. Okay. And hope that I get sucked into the Netflix trade and it pulls me through my targets. That's the idea. And if it doesn't work, I'll get stopped out and I'll lose money. And that is that. So what data feed is my NT8 Netflix chart using? Brian, it's using TD Ameritrade. Why TD Ameritrade? Because for a very small amount of money, I can open a TD Ameritrade account, Brian, and when I say and keep that account live and get data basically at no charge. They're great company. And then if I decide I want to buy stocks and trade options, I can add money to my account real easily. You don't even have to wire money in. TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, same company now. Charles Schwab, same company. So that's the data feed that I'm using on the right, TD Ameritrade or Thinkorswim. Okay. One more time, my setup. I'm using 16 ticks above the range because look, the NASDAQ's moved 100 ticks since we got here. Yes, the feed is separate. It is TOS, Brian. It is TOS. I'm going to look back 6 bars. So it's going to be a pretty big spread. And if I miss the trade, I miss the trade. I don't care. I mean, I care, but I care a lot. You know, I care, but I want to be safe. You want to be safe, okay? So if we get a move, we'll get a move. If we don't get a move, we won't. If I have enough time to get in, that's really the question. Will there be enough time? Because Netflix has been releasing way too early. That's been the problem. My time is in sync. The setup I'm going to use is not super complicated. I'm just going to use 16 ticks above and below the range, a one-click range trade, two contracts, one target for 9 ticks, one target for 40, and a stop of 25. And it's a manual entry because it's a one-click range trade. So I don't have to worry about time, okay? I don't have to worry about time. And if I'm able to get my orders in, then I'll get my orders in, okay? If I'm able to get them in, I'll get them in. If I can't get them in, then I won't get them in. It's not the end of the world. Now I can enable the trade and I have no danger of placing the trade by accident. All the way I place the trade is by clicking the one-click range entry button. That doesn't even place the trade. It puts my orders on the chart. And they're spread far enough apart that one more time, if I show you in Sim, because we have a lot of time, if my orders are spread apart, when I place them, got to make sure your charts are on Sim also. So when I enable the trade, so you've got this movement, I'm looking back 6 bars. So I'm going to try to manipulate my orders, but I don't want to get filled before Netflix comes out. Okay? That's the idea. The idea is that NASDAQ is going to explode because Netflix will have great earnings or terrible earnings, one or the other. But if it's a whipsaw, then I'll get stopped out and I'll lose money. Okay? That's the way this trade works. We've been doing it for a long time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The biggest problem that I have personally had is I've sometimes traded when I shouldn't. Okay? You have to, the most difficult part of the trade is not even manipulating the orders. It's saying to yourself, okay, I missed it. Just let it go. That is the hardest part of the trade, letting it go. Because let's face it, you're in the trade room. I'm the trade room moderator. I'm the smart guy, right? I'm the guy that's supposed to know what he's doing. I got to make money or I look like a dope, right? So sometimes I let that get the best of me. And I don't follow the rules I know I should follow. On my other monitor, I'm watching my Thinkorswim chart. And I also have a little gadget chart. I could keep it open, but it will never stay on top. If somebody knows this, even if I right click it, there's no way I know that I can keep it on top. Maybe there's something I don't know about Thinkorswim, which is entirely possible because I don't use it a lot. So I just keep it open off to the side. That's all. All right. Any questions? And you could see Netflix is pretty darn volatile right now, right? It's pretty volatile. 550. And like I said, if the market is not safe, or if I don't feel comfortable putting on the trade, I don't mind if I have to miss it. We'll stick around, we'll trade something else. One day, if I had my wish, if I had my wish, if I had the time, did you see that move just that second on the NQ? That that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. It jolted up and jolted down so fast. So you can understand why I'm not going to rush into this trade because market conditions are volatile. If I had my wish would be to have enough time just to work on setting up a whole division of our company that just does earnings with our software. I think it would be so much fun and so exciting. Excuse me. And I just don't have the resources to do it. But it would be possible. It definitely would be possible, I believe, anyway. Now, you know, if you get filled early, you probably should just close out the trade. Like let's say you put your orders on and you get filled and Netflix earnings haven't come out, then you probably should cancel get out of the trade. That would probably make the most sense. Just as a rule, that would be sensible to do that. Now, if you wait, excuse me, hold on, I'm choking. Sorry. If you're using TV, right, to get the results, then you'll never get the proper results because they're way behind. The trade will be over by the time they announce what's happening to Netflix. That's the honest truth. The trade will be over. Now, this is something that if you practice, anybody could learn to do this. It's a one-click range trade using the look back feature. And you're basically manipulating the orders. It's a question of practicing. You don't want to do it live if you've never done it before. Now, in studying some previous Netflix videos, Netflix, the problem with earnings is they do not have a set release time. They just say after the market close, before the market open. All you can do is go by what's been the recent practice. Recent practice of Netflix has been very, very, very close to 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's the reality. That's the reality. If I wait too long past 4 p.m., I'll miss the trade. That will not be my fault. Um, Even if it is my fault, so what? You're not going to, what are you going to torture yourself? No, don't torture yourself. Do your best. Give it your best shot. That's all you can do, right? And for folks on YouTube, why not give us a like? Um, because, folks, we have a lot of guts. We do this live for you using real money. So give us a like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. We'd really appreciate it. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll know the next time we're going to be here. And sometimes it works really nicely. If, let's say it's Netflix news is just like, CPI news. If Netflix surprises and they have fantastic earnings, probably they'll go up. And so will the NQ. But you have to be a little bit careful, a little bit concerned today because of the NQ crazy volatility today. The NQ is a little bit volatile. It's like 400 ticks. Okay. So let's put the NQ on points. Let's get our data correct. Okay. Put the NQ on points because I was wrong before. It's 100 points, not 400. That's why I said I was reading the wrong data and nobody corrected me. 100 points, folks. It's still a lot of points, don't you think? It's a lot of points. But I was thinking to myself, I've never in my life seen the NASDAQ up 400 points or down 400 points. It is relative, Fred. It is relative. But it's still a lot, right? It's still a lot. So I wouldn't even guess um, whether I think Netflix is going to be good earnings, bad earnings. I have no guess whatsoever. No idea. No idea at all. So the question is, will I feel comfortable enough to put my orders on the chart? That's the question. Will I feel comfortable enough to put orders on the chart? I don't know. Probably. But see how volatile, how busy it gets as you get closer to 4 Eastern time. And we'll know if I miss it because Netflix will burst one way or the other. And if I miss it, it's like I said, no crying because you have to give it a couple of seconds at 4. You just have to. You can't just put it on right at 4. Okay, so um, I made a very small trade. It was too fast. What happened was the trade was a little fast. I made 9 ticks, which is 45. And then I believe it must have kicked back and we didn't see it. Okay. It kicked back on me and we didn't see it, which is really a shame because my trade was fine. But if we look at the range chart, I'll bet you that you'll see that it kicked back on us. Oh, you know what? Uh, I might not. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. That's what happened. I made my first target of 9 ticks, and then I made a couple of more ticks, and unfortunately, because of fluctuation in the price that I couldn't see, I it closed me out. Okay, it closed me out. So we made about 12, 13 ticks. We made 13 ticks. So it is what it is. Um, Fred, very nice. Very nice, Fred. It entered me at 89. I mean, it was a perfectly fine entry. And, it didn't even seem that fast. And it went to 86.75. And then maybe let me check I took my trade off. I took my trade off. Maybe I made a mistake. It's possible. It's possible. I might have made a mistake. But either way, we had a small profit. So I'll take it. It's a small profit on Netflix. It could have been a doozy. It could have been a doozy. And that happens. Let me see if the range chart works with the data that's coming in from TD Ameritrade. Let's see. So what I want to see is if this chart will work on a range chart, and it will not. Now maybe it's me. Let me make sure it's not me. No, see, it'll work on a minute chart. It'll work on, I bet it will work. It won't work on a 15-second chart. Well, it is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. I can't see the chart, so I can't tell you 100% exactly what happened in my trade. I can't tell you. But just from experience, my guess is that it kicked back on me and closed me. Or because it was fast, I got a stop error and it shut the trade down, which sometimes happens. So that is what it is. Fred, I always like when Fred does better than me. Perfectly happy to see that. Fred, if you'd send me a picture of that, I could use that in my webinar Saturday. All right, so I'm going to actually reboot my platform, put my charts on SIM, get my connections back to normal. Okay. We'll be trading oil. I want to thank all of our YouTube folks. We made money. One of our members made money. If you like and want to learn about this, sign up for our channel and hit that notification bell. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you the next time. Take care, folks on YouTube. Appreciate it.